Hey there, viewers. So, let's play Metroid Zero Mission. I had just recently watched Jason's Let's Play of the original NES Metroid. He said many times that he does not like this game, so I thought I'd go ahead and do it so he doesn't have to. Now, I myself don't mind this game so much. I feel it's got its ups and downs, really. There were things that I felt this game did better. There were things I felt that it didn't do so well at compared to the NES game. So yes, this is a remake of Metroid 1 for the NES, released in 2004 for the Game Boy Advance. It's pretty much the original Metroid, done in the same style as Super Metroid and Metroid Fusion, kind of a mix-up of the two. It starts out pretty similar to the original game, although it's going to get pretty different pretty soon. Samus can at least duck in this game, and can shoot in any direction. So that's pretty nice. Don't start out with just 30 health. Okay, and then we have these things. This is probably the thing I like the least about this game. It's kind of just there for newbies, I think. This game does a lot of hand-holding. Especially throughout, about the first half of the game, it just points you where you want to go. The game does have save points, though, which I think is very nice. I like this way better than the dumb password system in the NES game. Though the American version of the NES game, the Japanese version of Metroid 1 did have backup saves instead of the passwords. Although that was due to being on the Famicom disk system. NES game, you had to go get missiles first, but here our path is slightly different. And we'll get to in a moment, we'll get to another thing I didn't like so much about this version. Let me get the long beam there. Metroid 1 being the only game in the series that shows up. Which is fine, you have it by default in all the other games. Increases our range, and I think it looks at least like it's a little bit more powerful. Now we're kind of forced to come over here first. We have to come in here so we can look at this. That's the Gate Tutorial, which we can't open yet. And that's kind of the thing about this game. That's another thing. It's very linear compared to the original. What are you doing here? It's yeah, go back to north there. it kind of forces you on rails, really. While in the original game, it basically just drops you on Zebus, says, have at it. Here, the game just grabs you by the hand, shows you where you need to go, and for at least most of the game, you really don't have anywhere else to go. Like, hell, in the original game, you could go about your item collecting however you wanted. Not so much in this one. I mean, granted, it is possible to do some sequence breaking, as far as I'm aware of, but it requires quite a bit of tricky maneuvering, like stuff with bomb jumping, precise ice beam use, and so on. But there's where we get our first missiles, just like the NES game. Hello. Yeah, this mini boss wasn't in the original game, but you kind of have a limited amount of time to kill it before it runs away, and then you have to wait for it to show up again. But for beating him, we get the charge beam. Pretty much works as it does in Super Metroid. Charge up your shots, and if you do your spin jump while charging, you do sort of a pseudo screw attack. Now the layouts of a lot of these rooms are pretty different from they were in the NES game, which I'm kind of fine with that. I felt a lot of the rooms in the NES game were very repetitive. They repeat over and over again, which I kind of wasn't so crazy about. It gets a little redundant pretty fast. So I like that this version at least tried to add a little bit of variety between rooms. There's the map room for Brinstar. We can download at least a partial map. It's not the full map still, but it's a good part of it. Yeah, it's another nice thing that this game adds is a mini-map that you can look at. Again, like the kinds you got starting from Super Metroid. Now. Put them to use right away. this door is locked. And I have to kill these stupid little bugs. When they attach to you, you can only be killed with bombs. And if enough attach to you, they start draining your health. Kind of a smaller version of those flea monsters in Super Metroid. Who in a similar manner can only be killed by bombs. Here's where you would find the ice beam in the original game. Instead, we just get directed to the other room that it's at in Norfair. Which it looks like that's where we have to go to find it now. It's nice that these Chozo statues also refill your health and missiles. Kind of reduces the need to grind. Which is pretty much your only option in the original Metroid. Especially if you die and have to restart. You only start with 30 hit points. Missiles down here, but I think I want to wait until I have something else. So now we can start making our way towards Norfair. Nothing else we can even do right now in Brinstar. And we need bombs to get through there anyways. I think that's a pretty cool cutscene there. Anyways, I think this is a good spot to end it. Set foot in Norfair, and we'll explore that next time. See you then.
I'm playing a game.